Good morning, everybody, and welcome back once again to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name's Mark Love, and today I'm going to be showing you our very first, this is a 2026 Newmar Grand Star. Now, the Grand Star is a new product for Newmar this year, and for those of you that have watched our videos, you've heard us talk about the S2RV Chassis, which is the smaller chassis that a Freightliner makes, built exclusively for the RV industry. And this has the 360 horse. It's a 6.7 liter Cummins. So that only gives you 800 foot-pounds of torque. The tow capacity on this one is 12,000 pounds. So a lot of the companies build on these. It was common that, or expected that Newmar would eventually. And they've got some really unique things inside. Great looking product. Let's go ahead and walk around the outside first. We'll start right here. I talk about this S2 chassis, their breakaway mirrors. These are designed to hold a couple hundred pounds if need be. If you're tucking it inside a garage where it's really close for clearance, you can push those mirrors in all the way, give you a little bit more clearance. So we go down the passenger side, we've got a three-way camera system here, and in these first two storage compartments, it's not a pass-through compartment, but if you look up above, you do have some room for longer items, which is kind of rare on the Super Cs because of the way the chassis and compartments set. But you can see you've got plenty of room in these first two compartments. Right above that, we do have our, what do we got there? A 40-inch TV with the Samsung TV with the sound bar. And you can see if you just point up a little bit, we do have a nice awning. Doesn't quite cover the full sidewall, but enough to give you a nice shady patio area if you want to sit out here and watch TV. Let's move down a little more. Again, another nicely finished storage compartment there. Newmar does a great job. They changed these seals a couple of years ago, so these doors close a little easier, make less noise as you're going down the road from the wind. This is our freshwater tank. So we do have 100 gallons of fresh water in this. And the fact that it's up in the enclosed area, you know, has the radiant heat, keeping it warm. Okay, this is our battery compartment. You can see we've got the 6 AGM batteries. Now this is an all-electric coach. We have an induction cook surface, a residential refrigerator, and they have switched to the Victron inverter for this year. And if we look right back here in this compartment, you can see that 2,000 watt Victron. Here's our receiver hitch with a 2-inch and a 2 5/16 inch ball. Like I say, this coach is rated to pull 12,000 pounds, and it has a really beefy hitch with this Gen Y hitch. Like I say, you got your 2 5/16 ball, 7-way right there. And if you needed to be set up for air brakes, that could be done. As we move around, oh, and I like the back too. This is a great looking cap. Newmar does a wonderful job with their paint jobs, with their, you know, just the look of the coach, the LED lights on the rear. I like the higher Cyclops light. If you're pulling a boat or something, you've got a light that shows over the top of that. As we come down on the driver's side, you can see in this first compartment, we've got our black tank dump right there. And again, that's in a somewhat heated compartment, so give you a little better cold weather use. Also, let's take a look at this joint right here, basically, where your slide in tucks into the sidewall. This is one of the things Newmar does better than pretty much all of the other manufacturers. With the way this is sealed, the way the fascia actually sits inside the sidewall, you can see how the wind, the rain, the weather is not going to be forced into that, and you won't have leaks, you won't have as much noise inside. It truly is a flush wall slide, where most companies, the fascia goes over that cutout opening, so you have a place here on the outside where water and wind can get in a little easier. Okay, has our 50 amp power cord. That is a manual out with a electric rewind for it. Then you've got a lot of your electronics here. The techs really like the fact that they've moved this bundle right out here. 4 screws, you 4 caps there. You can take that cover off and get to the electronics when they're working on it. Was a really big improvement. The owners don't notice it so much, but the people that work on them sure did. Then here we've got our 8,000 watt diesel generator. It's enough to run both of your air conditioners and your microwave. And again, this runs off the diesel fuel tank. One thing unique about the S2 chassis is they have a single gas tank, and it's right between those axles in the middle of the coach, as opposed to the M2s and other chassis where you've got dual 50-gallon tanks up front. You have to fill them from both sides. This actually makes it easier for filling, and it's better balance. They've designed this really to carry the weight of an RV as opposed to some of the other chassis, and this was a great design to put it in here. By the way, you do have airbags in the rear. You have shocks and leaf springs up front. They bolted down, so it is a truck chassis. Don't fool yourself about that. Okay, here we've got our water compartment. You can see there is a whole house filter right here. And then we've got our freshwater hookup, our black tank rinse, outside shower. You can see we've got a winterized right now. Your bypass and winterization kit is right here. And then here is your other drain valve. I believe that's the gray tank there. And if you want to power fill your tank, you just flip this handle up. When you're hooked up to water, you can fill that 100 gallons fast and easy. Okay, up here we've got another storage compartment. They give you a lot of storage throughout this coach. Now this is only a 34-foot, 10-inch coach. It's truly under 35 feet. So it's one of the shorter Super Cs you're going to find on the market. And this is our Oasis Chinook. Now this is your hydronic heating element. The nice thing about the Oasis is, number one, they have 2 electric elements and 1 diesel. So in temperatures kind of like today, in the maybe 40s, 50s, you could probably heat it with electric alone. Since you have 2 elements, you wouldn't need to burn your diesel. But when you do, you can run all 3 of them at the same time to heat them up faster. This provides your coach heat and your hot water all in that Oasis hydronic heating system. Then up here we have our chassis batteries and our hydraulic pump for our levelers. Okay. Like I say, the S2RV cab, a little smaller than others. First of all, right here is your depth fill. This is the only side you have it on. And this is a smaller chassis. It doesn't sit as tall, so it's a little easier for me to get in. But you can see they've got the grab handles, place on the door, make it easy to step up. This has a really nice seat. There's different seats that these truck chassis get. This obviously is your air ride. You can hear the air leaking out there. You do have a shock in there you can engage to give it a stiffer ride. Over here, it might be hard to see, but this is our master disconnect for our chassis batteries. Let me see. Let's take a quick look at the engine. Again, this is the Cummins 6.7 liter, 360 horse engine with 800 foot-pounds of torque. The beauty of the Super Cs is to be able to get in here and work on them by yourself. And boy, this is a brand new squeaky clean engine, that's for sure. Easy access to power steering fluid, your relay box here, oil dipstick. On the other side, we've got our water filter right there, or water separator, I guess that is. Fuel filter. Windshield wiper fluid, coolant right here. We've got our air cleaner with a little gauge to tell us how dirty it's getting. You can see this one's brand new, so it really hasn't had much use. But again, the M2 or the S2RV chassis, nice hood that has struts on it. Designed specifically for your smaller Super Cs and the RV market. So it's really a great platform, and they drive very nice. Now, if you're looking for a unit that's going to pull you up Vail Pass or Eisenhower Tunnel here in Colorado, and you want to go 55, 60 miles an hour, this isn't the coach. You need a bigger engine. You need a DD13 or a 600 or 605 Cummins to pull a heavy load up that fast. But this will pull 12,000 pounds, so for most of your vehicles, your toys, the trailers you're going to pull around, it's going to do the job. Just realize you've only got 800 foot-pounds of torque, rather than 1250 on the 8.9 liter engine, or up to like 1850 on your big Detroit diesels. Well, Mike is asking, is this more of an entry-level Super C? And let me put it this way. As far as the chassis is related, I would say yes. This is your smallest, your lightest chassis with the lowest tow capacity. And keep in mind, roughly, a third, 30%, a third of the value of any RV is in the chassis. But when you get inside and look at it, when we're about to, you're going to see features in there that you won't find in the Valencia, in the Seneca, in the Accolades, which are some of the other products built on this S2RV chassis. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I did a review on an Accolade, and I was surprised by their 3 slides, by the features they had inside. I thought it was very high-end compared to some of the other ones. Well, wait until you see this. Thanks, Mike, for the question, and let's go ahead and look inside, and I'll show you why I think it's more than just an entry level. Okay, this is the Newmar Grand Star 3444 model. What that means is it's 34 feet 10 inches bumper to bumper. Truly is one of the shorter Super Cs out there. And I like to leave the slide closed in so you can see how you travel. Obviously, it's easy enough for me to get back here into the refrigerator, get in my bathroom. This is just a single mid-bathroom coach. The bed actually touches the slide out when I've got the other slide in. I'll show you that in a bit. But it kind of gives you an idea of how much room you've got. And then, like all of the Newmars, you come in, battery disconnects are usually right up here. Got my slide out. I'll go ahead and run that out. Now again, these Newmar slides, they may not be the fastest in the industry, but they are very dependable. It's a nice, smooth operation. One of the nice things they did, changes they made, if you look in the slide out, that's not carpet, that's a weave material. They use, a woven material you might find on boats or some of the other high-end units. There we go, that's all the way out. So a nice change with that. Also, the furniture itself, very nice leather, very soft. This isn't low-budget furniture. Solid surface countertops. We have real tile floor in this, and underneath that floor is an electric heat grid. So when I talk about it not necessarily being an entry level, you wouldn't expect to find that in another unit that might be $50,000 or $100,000 cheaper on the list price, that would have a laminate floor, that might even have laminate countertops, things like that. So what Newmar builds into this Grand Star, although it's a small engine Super C, it's not what I would call entry level by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so let's go ahead and just look at the floor plan. Over here behind the driver's seat, got some nice storage. I like the fact that it's open. Makes it easier to get longer items in there. Now, this does have the manual day-night shades, where, you get into your Veronas, your Supreme Airs, some of the higher end, they're going to have the electric ones. So that's, one of the differences there. Nice theater seating here. I like the storage compartment. Boy, you got room for, a couple of dogs down there. Excuse me. And it is a manual recliner. Being right across from the TV, this would be an easy place to get comfortable and fall asleep before you go to bed. Let's take a look at the dinette and the TV over here on the passenger side. First of all, we've got some storage there. And boy, this is getting up there a little bit. You can see we've got our satellite video components. This is also pre-wired for the Starlink, which is an option. TV is fixed, no televator in this one. And one of the things that, boy, those are hard to reach. One of the things that you don't see a lot, especially in the Newmar Super Cs, is an overhead bunk. And I like the way this one just flips up and down, makes it real easy to get this out of the way when you're climbing up. Comfortable queen size mattress. We also have our shade overhead, so at night, or if you just want to close that down because the sun's beating in too hard, easy to do. On each side, you do have 110 outlets with the USB and USB-C ports. And again, when it's time to get up into the cab, I like how that just flips up, and it's nice strut, so it's not going to fall down on you. Okay, behind the passenger seat, we've got our dinette. First off, there is some storage underneath here. You've got a couple of seat belts under that seat. And this is unique in that it's a convertible sleeper dinette that drops down. You'd pull these out and rest them on the cleats. Then there's a mattress in the closet to fill in the middle. But you've actually got enough room for two people, certainly for two kids here. Have enough room for a couple of adults up here. King bed in the back, so technically this has sleeping for four, and a couple of real nice lounge chairs if you want to let somebody use those. Okay, back here over the door, like I said, this is where most of our controls are. This is our Victron inverter unit, and then our simple monitor panel, battery disconnect, step switch. We do have a block heater built in, patio lights. These are our awning controls, awning lights on the outside, and then this is the slide out switch. So not a lot of highly technical stuff right there. I do have an all on and an all off switch as I come in the door for all of my overhead lights. Okay, back here across from the entry door is our kitchen area. And like I say, solid surface countertops, great large single undermount sink here. I like having these because you can always get a divider or something to put in there. But when you want all of that room, it's just nice to have it. Underneath here, we've got some storage, place up here for dish soap or scrubbies or whatever. Overhead, a little more storage. You got some of your manuals right there. Next to that is our convection microwave. This is also an air fryer. They're doing that more and more with these microwaves. So if you're used to, you know, doing a chicken or something, or even wanting to bake cookies, you don't have to use a convection. You can use the air fryer. Underneath, we do have an induction cooktop. And these are the type that actually pull out. You can see there's a 110 cord there. You can unplug it, take it out under your awning, and cook outside if maybe you're doing a lot of bacon or cooking some fish that you don't want the odors inside. Underneath, you can see we've got a nice cutting board there too. Okay, down below, nice large silverware drawer. And then this does have the dishwasher, which is an option with this. You got a few options, dishwasher. I'd already mentioned the Starlink, the satellites. This has the separate washer and dryer, which is an option. The floor heat, and there are 3 zones to control your heat with the floor. As we move back, we've got our residential refrigerator. And this is about an 18 cubic foot unit. Again, this works off your batteries and the inverter, and the refrigerators are actually quite efficient. They don't draw a lot of power, so you're not having to start up your generator a few times each day to recharge. Probably just once is sufficient. Speaking of that, here is our main control panel, 10-inch control panel. You can see if we go to the house, got our batteries, and we're getting a little low. We're running everything on the battery, and I don't have it plugged in. I don't have the generator on. Some of our light switches there. However, I could set up my auto gen start depending on what parameters I could set it. When the house battery gets down to 12 or 12.1, it'll automatically start up. You can also set that by temperature. So if you've got a dog you've left in here, you go for a hike, it hits 75, you can get that to fire up and you know, turn on your ACs. There's our floor heat. As you can see, 3 different zones. Our HVAC, and of course on your Oasis you have a single diesel burner. You have 2 AC elements, so if you want you can run them both at the same time or just one, depending on what you need. You can Bluetooth in. There is actually an app on your phone that you could use to control a lot of the functions, and then again we can go through each room and do our lights individually. Otherwise, there is an all-on and an all-off switch. So that's right in the middle when you come in the coach. Then right behind it, we have our bathroom. Let me just open up some of these compartments and then step back. You've got quite a lot of storage, actually. Normally, Newmars would have their circuit breakers and your fuses in this cabinet. They managed to put them somewhere else on this unit. I don't know if you saw the medicine cabinet, but decent size. And then with the shower, one of the nice things, it is a one-piece fiberglass surround, which makes it easy to clean. But I noticed they included the water miser system, shower miser, which is a system that recirculates your fresh water back to the holding tank while you're waiting for it to warm up for a shower. Then when you flip the valve, now you're using your water, it's going into the gray tank. So it saves you filling up your gray tank. You're not wasting your fresh water. And you can see that the shower is clearly tall enough. If you're over 6 feet, you can get up in here and take a shower. There's plenty of room. And again, at 34 feet, 10 inches, you're only going to get a single shower. That's really all you're going to want. But it's an ample shower, you know, big enough for most people to get in and not have a problem. Okay, as we step back toward the bedroom, beside the refrigerator, we've got a nice pantry area, 6 pull-out shelves there. Then we do have a nice divider door here. Okay, and then that brings us back to the bedroom. Now, first of all, this bed is a king bed, and you don't have the storage underneath. One of the reasons is, in order to run both slides in, this bed inclines. And, you know, you could do it part way if you want to watch TV, and that'd be great, but to bring it in, it's got to come in a little bit farther, and your pillows, your blankets flip over. But I just wanted to show you that feature. It is an inclined bed. And then on both sides of the bed, on your pedestal, you've got a little storage, some 110 outlets, again, your USB and C ports. You've got good full pass-through storage here. There is a couple of different access ports, so if you've got a sleep machine or sleep apnea, the pedestals might be big enough. You have room up here and another 110 outlet up above. Right in the middle, you've got a control panel, so you can turn off not only your bedroom lights, but all of your lights if you need to. A lot of them you can turn your generator on and off from right there. Across from the bed, we've got a wardrobe area. So you can see this is actually the cushion that goes on the dinette when you make it into a bed. But place to hang some clothes. And then I like the way they work their washer dryer in here. Here's your washer, so they make a little flip up, so you actually have the ability to get in here and put in your soap. I don't know any 35-foot motorhome that has a washer dryer. A lot of them will have a stackable, but not the combination, but they don't have the stackable. So this is one of the shortest units where you can actually get that feature. And then as far as your dryer goes, it's over here on the other side. So I like the way they work that in. And then in between, you have 3 nice deep pull-out drawers. Everything has the soft close feature. A couple more drawers right here. And then you actually have room, I don't know if you want to step past me, and place for video components or gaming systems, movies, things like that. Then of course on this side, we get the same wardrobe storage. And Newmar really does a great job with their wood. This is all done in-house. What is this? The maple. It's the matte finish. It's a new finish this year, so it's really a nice look to it. And let me see, our colors in this one, it's the Arlo Decor, and it's got the Mesa glazed maple with the suede finish on it. And then Rutledge is the graphics that's outside. Okay, and that brings us up to the cab. So I do want to just talk about it a little bit. Again, it makes it so much easier getting in and out when you can just flip it like that. And they've done some things on this chassis that's different than what some of the Renegades and Jaycos and other ones do. First of all, I like they've gone to a big 10-inch monitor, and you know, I can scroll through here and look at my outside cameras if I want. Took me a while to get used to using this. Every time it comes out with a new camera, it's a little different operation. And then right here, we've got our auto levelers. So when you pull up, I generally run the slides out first and then come in auto level. But I like the fact that they're right here. A lot of times when you get in and you know you haven't used it in a while, you're going to hear a bell going off, an annoying alarm. And what it is your levelers just need to hit R retract. They might tuck up a little bit and set that sensor off. But I like having it right there. And then there's not a lot of excess on the dash. We've got our house and chassis battery boost, which pulls your batteries together, and then your gen start right here. And the nice thing about that is if you're ever, you know, house batteries are dead, let's say, and I can start it up and I want to use my battery boost and then start my generator, it's convenient to have both of the buttons right here at the dash. A lot of times your battery boost is over here. Your gen start might be back by the entry door. It's a 2-person job. But I like what they've done with the battery boost right there by the generator start. Also, we've got automatic traction control. You can shut it off right there. Footwell light, that's our blinkers. We also have a fast idle. A lot of times that's built into your cruise control. But if you start it up and your airbags are empty, you want to fill them up a little bit faster, warm it up a little faster, you do have the fast idle right there. And then on the, let's see. On the dash here, nice, large, easy to read glass dash. We can scroll through up here to our home, go to our home. I just noticed this, the last 99.9 miles, they've got 11.5 miles a gallon. That's actually not too bad for these Super Cs, especially if you're pulling through the mountains. Got a regular speedometer. You can monitor your tire pressure right here. You see everything is good with that. Get into your diagnostics, and then let's see. Collecting fault. You know, this is basically going to give me faults, which I don't have anything to worry about right now. Oops. And then up above we can get into our settings, adjust the brightness and so forth. So it takes a little bit to scroll through these, figure out what it is you're going to use. But the dash isn't overloaded. You know, your blinkers are on one side, your cruise control, your shifter on the other, easy to access. Actually, your cruise control you set and control right here. This is where you Bluetooth in your phone. And here's where we screen through our different menus. Get back to the main one. This does have the regular city horn and also your big air horn. Let people know you're coming. You got a place for CB radios up here if you want to put them in. Again, a standard M2 dash. I like the seats though. They've got really good lumbar support and easy to adjust yourself up and down. Makes that ride a little bit smoother. Once again, we're in a Newmar Grand Star 3444 model. My name's Mark Love, and if you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can call or text at 970-631-0083 or send me an email at mlove@transwest.com. So let me know what I can do to help. Have fun traveling out there. Happy trails, my friends, and we'll see you next week.